Welcome to your weekly airplane news update. This is the week of May 30th, 2022. Got 4 stories for you this week. Joby receives a Part 135 certificate. The Starliner completes a test mission. The FAA is thinking of pulling a certificate from TransAir after a 737 ditch. And then lastly is Sonaca is going to halt production of its Sonaca 200. So let's get to it. All right, the first story this week is Joby receives a Part 135 certificate. That's what they announced this week, and that's to operate their aircraft commercially. The aircraft, if you're not familiar with it, is an eVTOL aircraft, which is electric, vertical, and takeoff and landing. They're hoping to go into operation in 2024, and that they still have to get a type certificate and production certificate for the aircraft. Now, they were quoted as saying the procedures we've prepared lay a foundation for our future eVTOL operation. That's the head of air operations and people for Joby that said that. Over the coming months, we will use our Part 135 certificate to exercise the operation and our customer technology platform that will underpin our multi-modal ride-sharing service while also refining our procedures and ensure seamless journeys for our customers. Essentially, they're trying to get this, like I said, off the ground by 2024. If you want more information, we'll put a link down in the description. Also, doing testing and flying a bunch of things is Boeing with its Starliner crew capsule that successfully completed an unmanned test flight to the International Space Station and back. There were some issues with the docking and with the thrusters, but the re-entry and the landing were totally uneventful. The next trip will have astronauts on board, and it's going to be interesting to follow and see what they do in this commercial air operation or commercial space operation, I should say. And then that's there's been a lot of competition on that front, and it's actually really exciting. Someone like me that's been loving all this space stuff for a long time. Okay, the FAA now is talking about pulling TransAir certificate of operation. They're also linked to Rhodes Aviation, so Rhodes Aviation and TransAir. The FAA says that the company flew with 33 engines that were not airworthy. There's no surprise to that because if you remember, we talked about the TransAir 737 that ditched into the Pacific in Hawaii shortly after takeoff. Both of the pilots were injured but survived, and then the aircraft was at the bottom of the ocean for a while until they went to pick it up. And so we'll see what happens. This is a long line of stories now that we've reported over the last couple of weeks with the FAA taking actions against pilots, and in this case against operators as well. And then the last story is kind of a sad one. Sonaca Aircraft has stopped productions of their single-engine aircraft, the Sonaca 200, due to the ongoing impact of the COVID. And the group said basically the cessation of the Sonaca aircraft production activities is a necessary decision. The COVID-19 pandemic, which will globally impact the aviation sector until 2025, has strongly affected general aviation, especially activities related to pilot training and education. So it's sad to see another manufacturer, unfortunately, closing doors. But hopefully they have something else that they can do with this aircraft. So hopefully not too many flight schools are affected. It's difficult when you buy an aircraft and all of a sudden it's no longer produced because finding parts is going to be very difficult. So that's it. That's all I have for you this week. As always, like, subscribe. Next week I will not be here. Actually, we're going to have a guest host that's going to help us with news update. I'm going to be taking some much overdue time off, personal time off, and I will see you when I come back.